Welcome back to this video. My name is Linh Trinh, and today I'm going to be talking about the one ingredient that will hopefully save your marriage because it saved mine. Now, before we go into this video, I don't profess to be some marriage expert, some life coach, some bullshit, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I'm 34. I've been married for 7 years. I have a beautiful wife. I have 2 kids. And so I'm talking about this from my experience. Hopefully, you'll be able to learn from my fuck-ups. Hopefully, it will be able to answer a few questions that you might have, because back in the days, I would have been very confused as well. And hopefully, I would have watched this video going, oh, you know what? That's very, very interesting. So, before we get into that video, I just wanted to make that quick disclaimer. Now, look, the thing that I'm going to share with you isn't just being able to apply this to marriage. It actually applies to all my relationships, whether it's my clients, whether or not it's my relationships with my co-workers, whether or not it's my employees. In fact, it's anybody who I come into contact with. And this one thing actually makes the whole relationship so much better. Now, when we dive inside of talking about marriage and what happens inside of marriage, I used to think that marriage was like created by this thing called love. You're brought up to think, okay, when you find a girl, you fall in love, it's happily ever after. All right. So that's how I was brought up. I'm pretty sure that's the majority of the population. We just think, hey, like, you just go to school, you get a degree, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house, and then fucking like, what do you do for the rest of the 75 years? You fall off a cliff, right? No, you don't think about it at the time, but you just think as a kid, you're brought up into this thing where it's like, oh yeah, by the time you're 30, I've done it all. What next? People don't prepare you for this. And the reality is most relationships are broken and they end up in divorce. More than 50% of marriages end up in divorce. And if you're not in divorce, doesn't mean that you have a great relationship. It just means like you're too afraid to have a divorce because you're scared of what's happening on the other side. I'm coming from this because quite often people, when they interact with me and Kerry, they go, oh my God, you guys are like really, really good. And I don't say this to gloat. I'm just telling you what other people tell us. And I think the reasons why we don't often fight is quite often we take every fight literally. Like, we understand, we have spoken to each other and we say, hey, like, we are one fight away from divorce. Because if we can, is this worth fighting about, or is this worth like letting this go? And so we take our fights extremely seriously. When you understand that fighting creates this crack, and once you create a crack, you break something, you can't actually mend it again. There's always that crack. It actually becomes more susceptible to breaking over and over again. But there's this one thing that actually changed my life with Kerry. And funnily enough, my relationship with Kerry wasn't all that good when we were married before kids. It wasn't. Because the thing that I started to recognize was I didn't have this thing. I loved her. We had a lot of lust. We had a lot of chemistry. We had a lot of like, oh my God, this is amazing. She's amazing. He's amazing at the start. As soon as that fizzled out, and as soon as I started to put my head down, she was just like, what happened to that guy? And I'm like, hey, like, that time's over. I need to like find myself. I need to become successful. The thing that we missed, the thing that I feel like most people miss, is respect. Okay, so before I had children with Kerry, before when we were dating, okay, once that love fizzled out, I didn't have a lot of respect for her. In the sense, it's not like I didn't respect her, it's not like I looked down on her, but I didn't feel this sense of respect because she wasn't actually like in line with my vision, and nor did she have respect for me because I wasn't in line with her vision of her worldview of what a respectful man should be. Now you might be wondering, Lynn, what the fuck? What does that even mean? Like, did you not respect her? No, it's not that I disrespected her, but because I was so focused on business, I was so focused on becoming successful, making a name for myself before, this was probably 5-7 years ago, I just wanted to hustle, I wanted to grind. And so my version of a woman back then was like, hey, like, if this woman can actually help me build this thing, I'd build a lot of respect. And because she wasn't in that category, she didn't have that worldview. She wanted freedom. She wanted to travel the world. She came from a corporate background. She was high up. She didn't want to climb the corporate ladder, and she just wanted freedom. Her worldview back then was like, hey, I'm a 25-year-old girl. I need to go freedom. I need to do like Mamma Mia. I need to go out there and explore. I need to go traveling. And I'm like, I don't want to travel. I just want to like become successful. So back then, as you can imagine, we both have 2 different visions. And so the visions begin to clash. Because my vision of like building an office, building something creates like a prison for itself inside of her worldview. Okay, her vision inside of my worldview creates all of this chaos, uncertainty, this thing where it's like, I don't want to play all day. I need to work. I need to build stuff. I don't want to waste money on traveling, airfares, tickets, hotels. All of this stuff is all fleeting. We can do this after I get rich, right? So there was no respect. The reasons why we didn't have any respect was because we didn't have an aligned vision. As soon as we have kids, it's crazy. Because as soon as we have kids, we're like suddenly, weirdly enough, we come together with an aligned vision. Like, we want to care about our kids. I'm generally like a family guy at heart. I grew up in a big family. I love kids. I just love having my own kids. I'm a softie at heart when it comes to my family. I didn't recognize that Kerry, as a woman, she would develop into a mum where she would turn into this big, like, I call her a mother hen, in terms of she's so nurturing, she's so emotional, she's so calm, she's so like, she's able to be patient with kids, and she loves kids. And so this thing brought us together. And then it created this aligned vision of like, oh my God, she started to find respect for me in terms of the producer, being able to make money. She's so grateful that I actually have some skills and I'm able to make money, because that gives her trust and security and certainty in me to be taken care of, so that she can step into the role as being a mum. It's crazy as well. And as she steps into the role of being a mum, I'm like, holy fuck, you are now being such an amazing mum. I could never have done this by myself. I can't be around the kids for too long, because emotionally I just feel so drained. Emotionally, I can't handle it. And she is that rock. She's that rock that I have inside of my partnership and my worldview and this vision, this grand vision of ours, that is able to give them the calm. So what does this create? This creates a level of respect. More than love. More than love. Like, she has this respect of me from playing that masculine role of being the provider, the protector, being able to make money, feeling safe. Okay, and I have that respect from her of going, oh my God, you are that emotional calm, and you are that cocoon that our kids need in order for them to grow. Atlas is 15 months, Ocean's 4 years old, and they just need that stability from a mother, that nurturing, that I don't think a man can give to them, that a woman can give to them. I believe that as my role as a man is that I lead the way in order to show them with my actions of what a man should be, how a man should be how a man should treat a woman, how a man should take care of his family, how a man should take on the burdens and the responsibilities of the pressure, the financial pressure, the physical pressure, whatever the pressure is. And so it's crazy. I almost feel like I got lucky in this respect. And when I talk to people, I go, no matter what you do, in order for you to build a relationship, you have to have a vision, and both of you have to play a role, and then you have to respect each other. Now, I may have got lucky because pre-kids, me and Kerry were like at odds constantly all the time. The only thing that kept us together was, I'm not even sure whether or not subconsciously, at the very back, energetically, whether our cells vibrated and we actually knew like we were going to be good for each other when it came to marriage and having kids. But before then, we were constantly clashing. We were constantly bickering. She was constantly looking down at me, thinking about like disrespecting the work that I did, but not so disrespecting, just going, oh, that's just so boring. And I'm constantly thinking, when she wants to look at travel, I'm like, why the fuck are you traveling? Now it's like we're both aligned. She respects the money. I respect her for looking after the kids. And I also want to give her the life. Like, as I say this, like I work for the family. She builds a family to give me life. There's one big lesson that I want to share here, and maybe you can take it away. No matter what relationship that you're in, whether or not it's a relationship with your partner, whether or not it's a relationship with my team members or my clients, it's like, if I don't have respect, if I don't respect them, if I don't admire them because I see that they are like putting in the work. I generally respect people that try to give their best, they try to learn, and they try to grow. That's what I see Kerry in as a mother, and I see her inside of this role, and I see her take on the responsibility. I also see that in my employees. I see that in my team members. And at any moment, do I not feel like that, then I just know it's not going to work out. I want you to think about this today, maybe in your relationship, maybe in team members that you have that you don't know why you're not aligned. You don't know why you don't communicate well. You don't know why it doesn't feel well. And quite often it comes down to this level of respect and appreciation for them. Quite often it's asking yourself, what are they doing well that you can respect? What roles and responsibilities are they taking on, and they're trying their hardest, so that you can find admiration and respect for that. And so I want to share that with you so that you can think about that in your relationships. Maybe if you have a wife, you have a partner right now, what dream, what vision are you both moving towards, such that you play a role and then you can find respect for each other in that? Like, one of the hardest things is being a parent. I know I'm still learning on how to be a father. I don't even know the concept. I can talk about that maybe in a decade or so. But what I do know is I've got a partner called Kerry, and her and I are actually on the same team, trying to work together to try to figure out this chaos of how do we build amazing children. At the end of the day, that's the goal and that's our mission. So I'm going to leave you with this video and this kind of question. How can you gain more respect or build more respect or find respect or admiration for your partner? Okay, and move away from this idea, this false version of love, but actually find this respect and create a new vision so that you both are aligned. And hopefully that helps you out. If it does, let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.